Hello, my absolutely beautiful Libra friends, and welcome to your horoscope for December of 2023. We're Libra this month. We've got Mercury going retrograde, Neptune coming out of retrograde, and Jupiter coming out of retrograde. Plus, it is just the whole end of a calendar year. So December has got plenty to offer in terms of energy and cosmos and movement. And before we jump into the horoscope, I just want to say thank you so much for letting me travel all year with you and be a part of your life. And thank you so much for traveling with me as well. I'm looking forward to our journey into 2024. But before we jump over there, we've got to handle what's going on in December of 2023. So first things first, Libra, as we are coming into December, I want to just calibrate you to the fact that Mercury is in pre-retrograde shadow time, and it went into pre-retrograde shadow time on November 25th at 22 degrees of Sagittarius. So the marking points are 22 degrees of Sagittarius to 8 degrees of Capricorn. This is the pathway of study and review that we'll be looking at during this Mercury retrograde cycle, which is going to take us all the way in the full cycle to January 20th of 2024. So noting yourself from November 25th all the way until January 20th of 2024, we've got a full story that we're going to be watching unfold, okay? On the first, we see Mercury now moving out of that Sagittarian vibration and into Capricorn, lighting up your fourth house space. So home, family, real estate, property, your roots, your family, things having to do with parents, maybe even women in your life. This is coming, a bit more to the place where you need to make more decisions. It could also be the time where, first of all, you've got decisions that are coming up, or you've got information is coming to you, or maybe even somebody's giving you this, you're like, oh, I'm going to need to travel at some point. Something around a house is making me travel, or maybe you've got an opportunity as a work from home situation. I want you to think about it in a very broad way as well. Because when Mercury goes into its retrograde time, it's actually a thing where I think whatever's been happening around the home, property, family zone, very domestic, you're having to redo it, or your information was not clear. And we'll see that at the retrograde. But what this time is good for is to approach it very confidently. The decisions that you're making are solid. You're planning, you're being very realistic, you're getting organized with what needs to happen next so that you can have long-term success in this area. Now, don't worry about missing anything. You'll clean it up during the Mercury retrograde. On the 4th, we see Venus entering into the vibration of Scorpio, lighting up your second house. Now, I think that this is fantastic because, first of all, Venus loves being in the second house. It's a natural fit for this particular vibration. So as Venus is traveling in your second house, but through Scorpio, one of the things I think of immediately is Venus is an attracting in energy. So you can be attracting things into your financial zone. But Scorpio, sometimes the way Scorpio does it is in a secret or mysterious or, where did that come from kind of way. So one of the things I think of is, what are you doing? Did you put out a project? Have you been working on something behind the scenes and now you're getting ready to launch it out and that is valuable? Are you looking to do something where you make extra money so that you can detox any old ideas that you've had about not being allowed to have money, right? Some of the money mindset changes that have maybe needed to come. You've got new self-esteem, whatever you're working on that is getting this money area of your chart going, it's really coming from a deep place. There's nothing superficial about it. And when you get your mindset right around finances, you understand your worth, you're doing that worth and value work, man, the money can really come in, and then you're getting this monetary reward for the way that you perform and the things that you're doing. I also think that this is a good time if you needed to buy something, or if you needed to, you wanted to purchase something, you could also probably find it at this time on sale. I would suggest make that purchase though before Mercury goes retrograde if you can. On the 6th, we see Neptune turning direct in the vibration of Pisces at 24 degrees, having gone retrograde at 27 degrees. Now, Neptune's going to be coming direct here in your 6th house, okay? So the 6th house is about daily routines, about health, wellness, mental health and wellness, your schedule, the workflow of the day, the structure of the day, things having to do with small pets or animals. But also if you are in any kind of service position, things like that. Now, I want to throw this in because as the digital revolution continues to come on, the 6th house also begins to apply to entrepreneurship and the things that you have to do on a daily basis to make that business work or contracts that you'd like to put out as a freelancer to get work to come to you. As Neptune was direct, you were able to kind of dance in between the world and say, okay, yep, I do know I need to take care of this and I will one day, or kind of put it off. You know what I mean? Like you have this ideal or this idea of where you want to go, and you can kind of dance between reality and the fantasy world. But when Neptune went retrograde in June, it is all reality all the time. So things in your 6th house, whether it has been how you manage your work, how you manage your health, how you're managing your fitness, how you're managing health care, how you're managing any entrepreneurial pursuit, if it has been out of whack and it is not in alignment with your intuition, and if it's not in alignment with something creative and a vision that you can actually live the ideas and ideals out of on a daily basis, what it could have felt like to you is very defeated and very disillusioned. And the point of that, I think, is to get you moving to go, okay, well, what do I need to do to have my ideal health, my ideal daily routine, and so on. So as Neptune is direct now you have the opportunity to step forward, trusting that intuition, trusting that what you saw in the reality was actually real, and you can step forward in new footing to make the ideals and the reality align, right? And it's also the place where I want to remind you, Libra, I really do, in a day-to-day way, small changes make a big deal. You do not have to eat the entire elephant today, okay? Like small bites will take you really, really far. So also forgive yourself for not being perfect and being the most perfect human being that you are also. On the 12th, we've got a new moon happening at 20 degrees of Sagittarius, and this is going to light up your 3rd house space. Now, as we've got this moon happening in Sagittarius, first of all, the Mercury retrograde, when it moved into pre-retrograde shadow time, was very, very close to this point. So I'm telling you, there is this energy that is going on in your 3rd house about communications, decision-making, things with siblings, maybe something that you're studying, maybe something that you want to teach in some way, shape, or form. Whatever it is, you're ready to plant your seeds of intention now at this new moon to get this thing going forward. And I also think that because the ruling planet of this moon, Jupiter, is in Taurus and it's in your 8th house, it's reminding you that in order to get where you want to go, something has to be released because it's not valuable to you anymore. It's old ideas. It's an old idea. It's old wisdom, right? Or it's old truths that just don't align with you anymore. So again, on the road to moving towards this new commitment, this new adventure, this new horizon that's available for you, you're going to need to shed something. And this moon squares against that Neptune that's also just come out of retrograde. So again, it's more symbology to me that yes, you are moving forward and what you want wants you as well, but it's going to unfold a little bit more slowly, Libra, than I think you would love for it to do so. But you are willing to make the moves and review what you need to so that you have a strong, steady, enthusiastic way forward. Now, the other thing that I was thinking about is, please keep in mind the vision of the archer. The archer has to pull that arrow back quite far so that it can fling forward and travel as far as it can. And sometimes we have to take 2 steps back in order to really get back on track and fly forward the best that we can. So at this particular new moon, watch the expectations, watch the arrogance, watch the thinking, and just to the best of your ability, incorporate any new wisdom that you have that's coming to your attention bit by bit by bit. On the 13th, we see Mercury turn retrograde at 8 degrees of Capricorn. And now this is going to be in that 4th house space, home, family, real estate, property. So you're going to be doing this review now of everything that started to come to your attention as of the 1st of December when we saw Mercury move initially into Capricorn, okay? So this is, again, whatever was coming up at that time, I'm telling you, I think you're redoing it, reviewing it, re-editing it, just making sure that it's on the best footing that it absolutely can be. Now, of course, it's Capricorn, so we could be dealing with things with family, right? We could be absolutely dealing with things with family. It's in the 4th house for you. You know, maybe your parents were supposed to get on a flight and then the flight got rearranged or something like that, okay? So just know that there's some review on the table. On the 21st, though, we see the sun enter into the energy of Capricorn, and this will give you some light, heat, life, and vitality, and some extra boost and motivation in order to get you, to support you while you're making any kind of changes. And it's also going to give you some support with whatever's going on at home. It gives you a little bit of energy. And let's not forget that we've also got some Mars energy helping out as well, okay? Now, on the 23rd, we see that Mercury retrograde moving out of Capricorn and back into the vibration of Sagittarius. So it is going to spend some time moving backwards, getting closer to not only that pre-retrograde shadow time, but it'll be in orb or close to the point of where this new moon was at. So this is where I'm telling you, don't be afraid to let the archer pull you back a couple steps so that you can make sure you're really flying forward as you get on your new adventure. So review what you need to, review what needs to be edited in your thinking, in a contract, in travel plans, in something you're teaching, something you're studying, something you're learning. It's okay to go back a little bit so that you have the best path moving forward, okay? It's really good for editing as well. When we get to the 26th, we've got a full moon happening at 4 degrees of Cancer, and this is going to be right at the top of your chart. Yes, honey, yes. Okay. So first of all, a full moon asks us to end something, acknowledge something, or adjust something. But at the top of your chart, in wonderful connection with Jupiter and Saturn, you could be being acknowledged. You could be getting recognition for something that you have been doing very well, the way that you have nurtured something, whether it's that you've nurtured home or, maybe you've been working from home. This brings a really interesting dynamic to having that moon in Cancer, but in the 10th house, right? But whatever it is here, you've got an opportunity to really have a lot of light shown on you. You're in the spotlight under this energy. So if it's that you're getting that promotion at work, you want to ask for that promotion at work. If you are, you've got the best turkey out of the family dynamic, whatever it is, you've got a little spotlight time here. The other thing I want to say about this full moon is because it's asking for an ending, an acknowledgement, or an adjustment, anything that you have not really had your attention on nurturing, especially around your career or your title. And it's really important that you consider your title. This is what you're going to want to nurture, okay? And when I say your title, I mean, okay, are you a CEO? Have you really been nurturing all of the job description that comes with that title? Are you a wife? Have you been nurturing and learning about what it means to have that title? Are you a grandfather and you've been nurturing what it means to have that title? Anything that's kind of fallen by the wayside, this is your opportunity to end, acknowledge, adjust, and course correct with that as well, or to get your, best mom ever mug in the mail. All right, when we get to the 29th, we've got Venus entering into the energy of Sagittarius, so bringing some attraction, bringing some ease, bringing some contracts, bringing some money and networking relationships to this 3rd house zone. And as we're going to close out the month, we're going to see Jupiter coming direct in Taurus right here on the 30th. And this is such a wonderful vibration. I absolutely love this. So if you wanted to plan for something, if you wanted to plan to get out of debt, if you wanted to plan to collaborate, if you wanted to plan to invest or apply for a loan, if you wanted to do anything with real estate, estate planning, debt, taxes, any of those things, this is the place where you're kind of, Jupiter direct is like, okay, you've seen it. You know what you have to work with. Now let's lay these bricks so that the building and the structure that we put in place next is going to be solid, solid, solid for 2024. And I also think that this Jupiter coming direct for you, Libra, is a real indicator that you could build something like passive income that can be useful for you in 2024. You're going to have a little bit of patience, but it will work for you, okay? All right, my beautiful Libras, thank you again for all of our travel time together this year. I love each of you a ton. I celebrate each of you, and I absolutely look forward to seeing you in 2024. Have a great month, Libra.